So we're going to start off with some review. Let's start off with this one. So this is, again, kind of what we were struggling with, or what was harder for some of us in the other section is we're going to simplify properties of exponents. So I've got 8m squared n times negative 2m to the third n to the fourth. 8m squared n times negative 2m to the third n to the fourth. AJ, when I multiply those, what do I do with the exponents? Yep, so I'm going to multiply still the coefficients to get negative 16, but I add the exponent. So it will be m to the fifth. Don't forget this n has an exponent of 1, and n to the fifth. Chase, do I have to move this 16 down?
No.
No, because it's not a negative exponent, it's just a negative coefficient, and that's fine. And so this is my answer. Negative 16, m to the fifth, n to the fifth. Let's try this one. 3x to the fourth, y to the negative second, all to the third. 3x to the fourth, y to the negative second, all to the third. Justin, what do you want to do first on this one? Good. And remember, this is the one little part we struggle with at first, is that 3 does have an exponent of 1. So it's 3 to the third, not 3 times 3, 3 to the third, x to the 12th, y to the negative 6th. Well, I know I need to multiply out 3 to the third. It's 27. Abby, you see anything else I need to do? Yeah, so here I do have a negative exponent. So the x to the 12th still stays up. Just the y part comes down, and when I move it down, it becomes positive. So 27, x to the 12th, y to the 6th. This one I've got 12x to the 4th, y to the 3rd, over 14x to the 5th, y. 12x to the 4th, y to the 3rd, over 14x to the 5th, y. Kaylee, you see one thing I can do?
Simplify the 12, 14.
Yeah, so both of these are divisible by 2. So 6 and 7. Madison, what can I do with the x's? Good. Where's it going to end up? Good, because I'm going to do 5 minus 4 is 1. 5's bigger, so x, or x to the first, goes on the bottom. Well, that means I do the same thing with the y's. That's y to the first. So 3 minus 1 is 2. 3's bigger. Y squared ends up on the top. This idea is what we're going to build off of a lot. And it's going to kind of get combined, bless you, with this idea. What are you grown? We're going to remember back to stuff we had when we had answers that look like this. So go ahead and write down this. 8 plus 10 square root of 3 over 12. This came from when I did what usually? When did I get an answer like this?
Quadratic formula.
Yeah, so I often ended up with an answer like this if I had done the quadratic formula. And so the reason I bring this up is because you got really good at this. If I got an answer like this, I'd ask you if we could simplify. Can I simplify this?
Yes.
Emery, how can I simplify it? If I can divide all of these by 2, I should. And so he's saying, oh, they're all divisible? So we divide them all and get 4 plus 5 square root of 3 over 6. Well then, let's also remember something like this. 5 plus 3 square root of 2 over 10. Let's go ahead and write that one down. So if I have this one, I've got 5 and 10. Can I reduce those?
No, because of 3.
Because I have a 3 here. It'd have to go into all of them. So this one, I'm just going to circle because I can't reduce it because of that 3. So the big takeaway is that it has to go into all of the terms. So taking the idea that something has to divide all of the terms, but now thinking, okay, we're dealing with x's and y's and numbers instead of dealing with just numbers, they're going to look like this. Ugh, it's overwhelming. But we can do it. So go ahead and write down this problem. 8x cubed y squared plus 10x squared y cubed plus 14xy squared over 4xy. And I'm going to show you 2 different ways to do it. So one way to do it is to look at each number and to say, okay, I'm going to see what goes in to each of these. So I've got 8, 10, 14, and 4. Whew. Well, what goes into 8 and 4? 4, right? But then I go to 10 and 4. What goes into those? 2. So I have to drop it down to 2. Well, does 2 go into 4 and 14? So I know 2 goes into all of them. So I'm just going to jot that off to the side. So now I have an x down here. Is there an x in all of these? So we're good there. I have a y. Is there a y in all of these? Yes. So that means I'm going to subtract an x from all of those exponents. I'm going to subtract a y from all of those. I'm going to divide them all by 2. So I'm going to divide this by 2 is 4. I'm going to subtract an x, x squared. I'm going to subtract a y, y. I'm going to divide this by 2, 5. Subtract an x, x. Subtract a y, y squared. I'm going to divide this by 2, 7. What happens when I subtract an x? It goes away, it's gone. Subtract a y, it's just y. On the bottom, when I divide by 2, I'm still left with 2. The x and the y are gone.
So why do we subtract them?
So why am I subtracting them? Can anyone answer that? What do you mean? So I like the multiplication we add, so tweak it a little more. So what are we doing? We're the opposite of multiplication is we're dividing, and so when we divide, we subtract. So that's why we're subtracting. We're dividing the polynomials, so we're subtracting the exponents. So that's what we were doing back, whoops, too far. Back here, one term at a time, and so that's why I'm doing it here. And so this might help too. If I do it a different way, I don't really like this way, but you can decide, is I can break it up. This is another way to do it. I can say 8x cubed y squared over 4xy plus 10x squared y cubed over 4xy plus 14xy squared over 4xy. And I can do each one by themselves. Then it really does look like, again, too far, looks like one of these problems, just 3 of those problems separately. Part of the reason I don't like this is watch what happens. So on this one, I can do 8 divided by 4. I get 2. I subtract these, x squared. I subtract these, y. Then I'm gonna move on to the next term. I divide these. 5 over 2, a little longer. Subtract these, x. Subtract these, y squared. Try and squeeze this in here. Here, I divide by 2, 7 over 2. The x's do cancel, and I get y. When I look at this answer and this answer, can you tell a difference? Yeah, this is different. And can anyone tell why it's different?
You divided by 4, not 2.
So I divided by 4 instead of, it's still over 2. So I was able to divide by that bigger number because now I don't even have a fraction here. And it's just different ways to write it. I like to be able to still write it as one big fraction. If you have either one of these on your homework, I'm okay. It's just two different ways to do it. I'm going to continue to write it this way because I think saying, okay, what's common to all of them? It relates to more what we've done before. Questions on either one of these right now? Okay, let's try another one. Let's see how it's going. We've got 15 a to the 5th, b to the 3rd. 25 a to the 4th, b squared. Minus 20 a to the 3rd, b to the 4th. Over 30 a to the 3rd, b. I'll let you get all that written down. So the tricky part maybe is figuring out what number goes into all of the numbers. And then really with the variables, we're just doing what we did before. We're going to subtract. So I've got 15, 25, 20, and 30. So I look at the 15 and the 30. What goes into both of those? 5. I like you guys are already ahead of me. 15 goes into both, but then you've already looked here and you said, oh wait, 5, because 15 doesn't go into those two. So 5 is what goes into all of these, so I agree. And then, I don't know that I'm even going to write these, because I think that might confuse you. I'm just going to then subtract the variables. So let's divide by 5, 3. And then I'm going to subtract the variables. So a squared, b squared. I'm going to divide by 5. So 5. Subtract the variables. A, b. Divide by 5. Minus 4. Subtract your variables. That's 0. B to the 3rd. Because I subtracted the variables, those are gone. I just have to divide by 5. 6.
Wait, how'd you get 5? How'd you get A for 2?
Okay, back up a second. Let's start with the 5.
How'd you get 2? How'd you get 2?
2 for what?
Okay, hang on.
Because A3.
Okay, hang
Because
on. Are we okay with 5 goes into all of these numbers?
Yeah.
Carly, yes, because you asked. Okay. All right, now what was the next question?
How did you get the 2 for the A, the 3A?
No, I'm confused for the B one. Oh, never mind, because B has exponent of 1. Okay.
I'm
What are
confused.
Okay, let's go through it again. Let's go through the variables. We're going to subtract. Okay, relax. We're going to subtract. So I have a squared, I have a cubed, b to the 1st. I'm subtracting. So 5 minus 3 is 2. 3 minus 1 is 2. Are we okay with this term?
Where'd you get the A?
It's because,
She's
look,
subtracting.
because 3 goes
Here?
into all of them. All of them are bigger than 3.
Yeah.
Where did I get these?
Yeah.
Okay, so when I do the variables, I'm just always going to subtract these. So I'm always going to line these up and say, okay, I'm going to subtract. And then here, I'm going to subtract. and here I'm gonna subtract. And you could even line them up like that if you want. Does that help?
Yeah, I thought you just had to like subtract one like every single time.
I was like,
No, you're always gonna subtract whatever these are down here. So that helps.
Well, notice the ones up top are little, you know what I mean?
I think they're always gonna give you the ones up top as bigger ones, but that's fair.
That was my question too.
So yeah, so that's a fair question, but I'm 99% sure that the ones up top will always be bigger.
Okay.
Okay? Alright, are we okay on this one?
Yeah.
Okay, let's try another one. So 6x to the 4th y cubed, I'm gonna change it a little bit, but just at the end so it hasn't affected you. And plus 12x cubed y squared minus 18x squared y squared over 3xy squared. So let me try and do a better job of talking through this. I think, at least what I hear, is that we're okay finding the number that goes into all of them. So what number goes into all the numbers in the problem? Good. So let's divide everything by 3. So 2, I'm even just going to go ahead and kind of space it out. 6, 9, and I'll have 1 on the bottom. Oh, it kind of looks weird there. But then what I'm going to do is I'm always going to take this and I'm going to subtract the exponents on all the different parts. Does it help if I say it like that? Okay. So I'm going to do 4 minus 1 for the x's here, so x to the 3rd. 3 minus 2, so just y. So it's 2x to the 3rd y. I need the addition sign. 3 minus 1 is x squared. The y's cancel. I need that subtraction sign. 2 minus 1 is just x. The y's cancel again. This bottom part's just gone. So it's just 1 on the bottom. I already put it there. I don't really need it. So it's just that part. Yeah.
Wouldn't you get crazy? But shouldn't
Huh?
you divided everything by 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
12 divided by 3,
that's-
wouldn't that?
You divided the last two by
it's
2.
Yeah.
it's 4 and then
Wouldn't it
Nobody
be the
said
power
anything,
of
so I
2?
wasn't sure if I was crazy or not.
No.
I was scared.
Would it
Like,
be to the
wait.
power of 2?
I wrote 6 in, but I thought that was right.
What be the-
No, it was me.
The eggs.
It was me. It was me. It was me. It was me.
Did you think?
How? Does this look better? I was all worried about writing this correctly for you. Does this answer look better?
Yes.
Okay. That was my fault.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if we can do another one better. This one's going to be written a little bit differently. Don't panic. They just write it differently. Write it down however you want. They wrote division like that. All this means is this is on the bottom.
Yeah, I'm writing like that.
So go ahead and write it like that. Big deal. It's just how they chose to write it.
Just scared us a little.
They just tricked you.
Does
Big
that
deal.
say C to the 4th?
C to the 4th, d squared f minus 16cdf squared plus cdf, and then I just changed it. It's divided by cdf. Do you want to try this one first?
Yeah.
Okay.
It sounded like you were about to rap.
That would not be good. Oh no.
It's testing. Tell her about that.
Be about as good as if you tried to eat in here.
Kaylee can break dance.
Can you?
What?
Break dance?
I can't. Were you asking me that?
She said you could.
Oh. Oh yeah, I can.
Oh, okay. Let's come up in front. Let's see.
Ty can. Ty Wilson.
Can you?
I love
I have a lot of videos of him breakdancing.
What? Football?
Yeah. Oh Lord.
All right, try this problem.
Okay.
Madison, do you have this? Do you have this problem?
Yeah.
No.
Done?
Figure out which
No.
Do it. My guess is Logan has it.
Yeah, I haven't done it.
Right.
I thought you said the couple's order.
5 C to the 3rd.
Monday it gets harder.
No, you said.
Uh,
Oh.
minus 4f
So this is
plus
the
1.
hard part. This is easy.
Yeah,
Wait.
this is easy. You put
I didn't
four
put every
on
one.
it.
You don't need to.
Yes.
Then you could have ruined it like this. You could just leave
Sure.
off the hard part and then
No.
let us take a test on this.
I like that.
You still have to take your other test.
Yeah, I know. That's.
Ooh, we have.
Oh yeah, Miss Hope, did you say in Quebec?
Yeah. And remember, you can use your property sheet. What color is that? Blue?
Yeah, the blue.
The blue
Dude,
and
I'm
the yellow
so
sheet.
ready.
It's like a quiz or like a unit?
Quiz. 30 points. All right, what goes into all of those?
Four.
So I'm gonna have 5. See if I can vibrate better this time. 4 and 1, all over 1. I won't write it this time. And it looks like all of these are to 1, so I'm just gonna subtract 1 from all of those. So c to the third, d, the f is gonna go away. The c is gonna go away. The d is gonna go away. It's just gonna be f. This is not spaced out very well. Oh, and all those are gonna go away. 1's just on the bottom. How does that look for an answer?
That looks good.
You should give us a quiz Monday over just this.
Oh, here's another way I could write it. I could write all of this and then this part to the negative first. If it's to the negative first, what happens to that?
Quiz on the bottom.
It goes down to the bottom.
Oh, true.
But then it's just another way to write it. If you want to go ahead and you want to drop it down to the bottom, you can. You may want to put that in your notes, just how I did that, where you write this and then you put that and cross it off and drop it to the bottom. It is a Z, yep.
I'm still ready for the quiz.
That is V at the end.
It is a Z. I make a line through my Z's. All right, so are all those divisible by 3?
Yes.
So we're gonna get 9, and then I'm just gonna subtract 1. So x, the y's gone. I'm gonna get, that's not 9.
6.
Cannot divide today.
I've been
6x,
writing it
sorry. And then 9 here, x squared y, and then I still have that z. 1 on the bottom, so I don't need it. Sometimes you have variables that just still hang out. Okay, so we're feeling pretty good about this now?
Yeah.
Okay?
Homework time?
No?
Yes, it's gonna be insane.
Here we go. 834 divided by 5.
Are we doing long division?
No calculators allowed.
Yes, that's literally what it says.
Long division.
I don't know how to do that.
Dude, when I saw this on Zach's paper, it was so confusing.
So we have to divide without a calculator.
I haven't done long
I haven't
division
done
since
this.
5th grade.
Guess what? You've done it in 5th grade. We should be able to do it. Well, let's
Oh, wait, you have to do the little.
let's remember what it looks like.
See, like that?
Write this down.
Don't you gotta write
I'm gonna teach you again. So you put the 5 out in front. You make this little division symbol.
No, keep going.
Okay. All right, listen. Stop talking.
No, that's
Stop talking. So here's how you do it. You say, okay, 5 goes into 8 how many times?
1 time.
So you put a 1 up here.
And then you subtract it.
So, so you do 1 times 5. That number goes here. So that would be 5. You subtract. That's 3. Then you bring the next digit down. So now you have this new number. You have 33. So then you say, okay, how many times does 5 go into 33? 6 times. So a 6 goes up here. You're going to repeat the process over and over again. So you do 6 times 5, 30. Subtract again, 3. Bring down the next digit, 4. How many times does 5 go into 34?
6.
Hang on. So 5 times 6 is 30. 4. Now, you're right, that is a remainder. So there was different ways we handled it. When you were first learning it, you did put R4. Then you moved past that, and you put 0.0, however many decimal places your teacher asked you to. There was another way you could handle it. You know how
Divided
I never
anyway.
worked past
5 divided by
you know how I hate decimals?
fraction.
Fraction. How could I write that as a fraction? 4 over 5, because there's 4 parts. I'm dividing by 5 different things, or 5 parts. So it's 4/5. If you do this in your calculator, you would get 166 and 4/5.
Yeah.
So you can always check.
So no decimals.
What did you ask?
So why are we going back to this?
So you want to know why?
Yeah.
She's gonna add it in with everything.
Because tomorrow, or Monday, Monday,
You're not putting this in these calculators, are you?
you're not going to be able to, because Monday, it's going to look like this.
What's wrong with that?
And so Monday,
I mean, we gotta like put all that stuff. Yeah.
Dude, what?
it's going to look like
Oh,
that.
that's fine.
It's the same process, but with variables. So here's what's really important. We need to understand the process. So we need to get the process down. If you get the process down, don't shake your head at me. If you get the process down, you can do it. Because it's very, very repetitive. You have to understand the process. That's what I like, Carly.
Do that real quick.
Yes, you can do it. Yes, Chase. Yes, we can do it.
Do that real quick.
I always
Yes.
look for it, but then you
No,
just
we
click
don't.
and it's not that bad.
Holy crap. Okay.
She's like, yeah, I'm mad at you, I know.
She's fine. Oh, you think I can do that?
She's like,
Hey,
oh
you
yeah.
did it.
shut
She
your-
went to math school, guys. So
Okay. Does X's cancel out?
I'm already confused.
That's because we need more practice with this.
Hey, bro.
All right, so let's do a couple more long division. So we're going to take 3,927, we're going to divide by 2. So we're going to put 2 out in front. And we're going to do 3,927. So how many times does 2 go into 3? Once, up top. 1 times 2 is 2. Subtract 1. Bring down the next digit. As you're doing these, you really want to focus on, okay, these are the steps, because you're going to be doing these steps with variables. So now 2 goes into 19 how many times? So 9 goes up here. 9 times 2 is 18. Subtract 1. Bring down the next digit, 2. It's very repetitive. How many times does 2 go into 12?
6.
Now this is going to be a little different. We get 12. I get 0. But that's okay. You just bring down the next digit. It's 7. And so how many times does 2 go into 7?
3.
So it doesn't really matter that that 0 is there. We still look at 7. And so, whoops, I put my line too early. So we get 6. So we get 1. That's our remainder. So this is going to be
0.5.
no, 1/2.
1/2.
You know how I feel about decimals. You can go back and watch the video if you want to hear that again. So it's the remainder over the divisor. We're gonna do one more. You're gonna try this one on your own first, and then I'll go through it. So you're gonna do 4 divides. They're gonna get bigger. 98,732. So try that one on your own first, and then I'll go through it, and then we'll be done for today.
I keep wanting to make the
Yeah.
division sign the radicals.
Yeah, that will be coming. It doesn't
There's
have
not a little-
a little tail thing.
a half
If you make that, it's not the end of the world.
Does it go in like perfect?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. And we'll see that with, when we have the variables too. Sometimes things do go in perfectly. All right, I'll start mine. So 4 goes into 9 twice. That's 8. 1. 18. Goes in there 4. 16. 2. 7.
6.
8. 24. Can't multiply today for some reason. 3.
Tired today, so.
I guess. 33. So that's 8. Or 2 is 1. Oh, it does go equal, you guys are right. 3.
Oh, sorry. This is the same crap.
Remainder 0. So you guys get 24,683?
Yes.
Good deal. So again, that process, that's what we're gonna work on.
I got 2, 4, 6, 7.
2, 4, 6.
That just means you.
That's because
You,
did
you
28
think
instead of
4 times
32.
7 is
That's what I
32
did.
instead of 4 times 8?
8, 16, 24,
I can
32.
just turn this
Dude,
into
that's what I
an
was doing. So count on my fingers.
That's what I do. 8, 16, 24, 32.
2.
Alright, your homework. You may wanna take a picture of this because the last 3 problems are ones I just made up. So that may be your easiest route. You're gonna do page 247, 1, 2, 12, hang on. Cause I didn't change it from last year. It's 10 through 15. Sorry. 10 through 15, and then you're gonna do those 3 long division problems.
High pollen alert.
You call an alert?
It said high pollen alert. It's pollen outside.
Thanks for the update.
So my phone buzz and it told me there was high pollen alert.
Did you get rid of that out?
Yes.
You guys can talk for the last few minutes.
Yeah. I pulled it over. You're just like,
What kind of app do you have?
it's so random.
It was very random.
It buzzed and it told me that there was high pollen alert, so everybody with allergies just watch it out.
Leave it alone and always yell out. Yell out.
It wasn't random,
Did you
like
Above
it's
your mouth.
springtime. Pollen is outside and whatnot. Just warning you.
What were you saying, finals that one day? Jimmy something?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about.
I do
He
know.
was like, wasn't he like trying to get someone to mess up?
Oh, Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Butler.
Yeah,
Jimmy Butler.
yeah.
They got it wrong too. and we won.
Are you all in 7th period?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they,
Ow.
I was
Ow.
almost, it was on a soap fire yesterday. I guess something that I didn't even know what it was,
This is
and
hard.
they got it wrong
Cracking up.
twice.
What are you talking about? What?
Are you in 7th period?
Oh,
And
good.
he just kept on saying Jimmy Butler, and that's the first time I've ever heard Conrad laugh. It was
Really? Miss Conrad laughs in our class.
That was like the first time.
Because she probably likes your class.
Yeah, she really likes you.
Like above your mouth.
It's so obvious that she hates her.
I knew she doesn't like me.
This one
Every time she
loves
gets
our
out a
class.
paper and I say thank you, she's just like,
I like her.
I don't
So
care.
funny. So funny.
She thought it was
I
fun.
think she's so.
I think it's funny how she calls everybody out when they're. I love it.
I just don't know.
Logan always seems to make her
He
laugh.
kicked
I
out.
know.
she does it. It's so
You could
funny.
have kicked
It's
it.
okay.
Do you remember that time we had like 10 minutes?
Madison.
And we were.
And then I wasn't there. What was it? Friday, and she was like.
AJ. I don't understand. Yes, do you not understand? I wear the mask all day. It's like you think that I don't understand the problems of the mask. I wear a mask all day.
There's a fuzzy that keeps sticking in my nose.
Like it's itchy right here.
I don't know. I don't want to like do this.
Fine.
Because I can never
Do you
understand
think it
nobody
makes me
talking.
dumb?
Yeah, in my car.
I try to
And then
do
I'm
weird.
like,
That-
Dude, my stomach's getting
Look around
bad.
there. Switch sides.
It's getting worse.
I
stutter. Or like,
Dude, I don't see it. I just can't talk.
Yeah. Do you need scissors?
Rip it out.
That mask has seen better days. Do you want scissors?
How many? I got.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we've been recording.